federal government to reject the draft policy on conventional and non-combustible alternatives to cigarette smoking being advanced by the tobacco industry. The advocate, in an interview with AIT, said the draft policy is misleading as no research evidence has proven that the alternatives to cigarettes being promoted by the industry are safe.
The proposal, said to have been submitted to the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment by the tobacco industry, seeks to develop a regulatory framework to encourage smokers to switch from conventional or combustible cigarettes to heated tobacco products, HTPs, as safer alternatives. The industry claims that switching from combustible smoking to their heated brands will reduce the risks of diseases. Public health advocates, however, debunked the claim as lacking in evidence, as the World Health Organization has repeatedly said e-cigarettes are undoubtedly harmful.
The WHO on July 7th issued a statement that the so-called alternatives are not less harmful and that they are still injurious to health. But the tobacco industry also, they just want to distract us. The same companies that are talking about going in the direction of alternatives are still manufacturing cigarettes in the billions.
Policy objective 1 is to improve the capacity, production, marketing, and competitiveness of the players across the entire value chain. So the number 1 policy objective of that document is profit. Profit not for the country, profit for the industry. We find it very, very, very suspicious that the tobacco industry do not take this policy to the Federal Ministry of Health, that is solely responsible for tobacco control in Nigeria, that actually providing much needed coordination and leadership to every tobacco control policies in Nigeria. They went through the Federal Ministry of Industry.
The public health experts under the aegis of Nigeria Tobacco Control Alliance, NTCA, had in a letter addressed to the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, asked the federal government to reject the draft policy proposal in the interest of public health.
Smoking kills, whether we like it or not. Nigeria has taking the bold step of putting in place a National Tobacco Control Act and the regulations. It is now time that we start the immediate implementation of the law.
Several other countries are putting in place stringent measures to ensure that the health and the safety and the well-being of their citizens are prioritized. So because we are in very trying times globally, and so if this is the best time that they now think the best thing to do is to make a policy through the back door for whatsoever interest of the tobacco industry on conventional tobacco and non-combusted alternative, this is not the time.
They also urged the government to disallow any entity from misleading the people through spurious narratives of employment, revenue generation, and export potentials. Nkoli Omodu, AIT News, Lagos.